What's going on, guys? Biggs with Custom Offsets. Today, I don't even know if it's the dreaded day, but today's the day that we're installing hopefully all these Wish parts. I don't think I'm gonna ever get through all this, but I'm gonna take a crack at it and get most of them installed. All right, let's get into it, I guess. Here we go.
Disgusting!
What?
No, get those lights off! Off!
No! God, please, no! No! No!
To start out, we're already gonna run into some issues. I already knew that we were gonna run into quite a few issues in this install for everything, just because, you know, direction's pretty unclear. They space some words out that don't need spaced out. They put periods in places that really you shouldn't probably put periods. But I'm gonna have to probably go to the store and get a few things to make this functional. I know that for a fact. I'm gonna try to find a box because I'm gonna have to mount this in my bed. It's gonna look real ratchet, maybe a little ghetto and redneck at the same time, just because this can't get wet at all, because none of it's water sealed, and it has to be in the upright position. So stay tuned. This is gonna be a wild ride, I can tell you that. Hopefully I can fit it in here. That's the goal, and then maybe mount it underneath my truck. If that works out, that'll be exactly what I'm gonna do, because I don't want that in my bed. It looks kind of trashy in my opinion. We're gonna go back to the shop and see if this shit works, so let's go. I test fitted it before we started this, and it's pretty close. So it's pretty tight, but I think if I take this fitting off, drill a hole, and then reconnect it through, I think it'll be fine. I think the biggest concern for me now is just the fact that this isn't water sealed, so however I can keep it the most dry is gonna give me my best results, of course. With that being said, I'm gonna get started on this crazy build. I got a lot of stuff to do in a short period of time, so here we are. Let's get started. Day one, I got the air horns installed, and that's it. So probably tomorrow I'm gonna try to knock out the rest of these parts. They're kind of kicking my ass, not gonna lie. There's a lot of stuff that I need to put on, and I need to kind of do it in a timely fashion, and it's all taking forever. Hey guys, it's day two. I was only able to get my train horns in yesterday. They were kind of a pain in the ass. Had to run my tube, had to drill some holes in my bed. Nah, not a big deal. But today, I think we can get a lot more knocked out. We got an emblem to put in. We got some Raptor style lights. Hopefully it all goes smooth, unlike yesterday. I think I decided to take this Amazon light bar off. So I'm gonna get this out. I'm gonna switch grills real quick because I got a new grill that's going on for my complete truck build, and it'll be a little easier to put the parts into that. Oh, I realized real quick that's why that filled up with water. The construction on it, none of this is water sealed, it looks like, at all. And it's probably why there's a whole ton of condensation in it. See? Look at all that. I actually really like that light bar behind the grill. I'll probably get a new one that's a little bit better quality than that one, because I got that off Amazon, and you know how that goes. It's just like Wish 2.0. But now I'm gonna take this grill off and then insert the Raptor style lights in the other grill. All right, so the Raptor lights are gonna be a little challenging with that grill, just because they got this little like step, and then whatever, they kind of stick out. So I originally was gonna stick them through and just zip tie them or something, because I was just gonna take them out. But Banker saw me and saw what I was doing, and he was like, oh, just go and do this, go and do that. So here I am, kind of doing it the right way, which is hard to believe, but there's little brackets that go down for the grill, and then I'm taking this bar and putting it across, and then putting them through here, and then they'll be behind the grill instead of traditionally in the front of the grill, but it'll look better for what it is, and it'll be a little easier to install. So that's what we're doing now. We just undercoated this, or sprayed it down with some black, just to make it tie in a little bit better. We're gonna let this dry. I have a few more parts that I can put on right now as I wait for this to dry, and then we'll come back to it. All right, so we have these ditch lights that I'm gonna toss in. I already have the hood brackets on because I used to have ditch lights, but these are kind of interesting because they have little side markers. I'm actually super surprised on the quality of this little bracket. Usually they're pretty flimsy. Some that I've got in the past are really flimsy, but these seem to be pretty tough. These aren't terrible to install. I mean, they give you most of the stuff. I lost the nut in transit. The quality seems to be kind of similar to most light cubes that I've ever experienced. All I know is the diodes in these side markers look like you could blow them off if you took the plastic off. So I'm kind of interested to see how quick condensation and stuff builds up in that because they're not sealed very well. I know that for a fact, so we'll see. My wiring, it looks like a bird and a rat made a baby in here, but they work, I think, hopefully. Let's test them out.
Hey.
Yeah, they work, so that's a plus. One other thing checked off, so let's keep working a few more things. Hopefully my bar for how I'm gonna mount my Raptor style lights or whatever you wanna call them works out. And then we're gonna put the grill back in and that'll probably be it for today. Okay, so we got our little bracket made. Now I'm actually just going to hot glue these in because why not? It'd be sick. All right, so we got this bracket on. Just put 2 self-tappers on each side of these, as you can see here. I dummy wired them up just to see if they're gonna work. So I'm gonna kind of place this here, hopefully it doesn't move, and we're gonna go test them out. Yeah, we got ditch lights or whatever you wanna call them, and the Raptor style lights. I actually don't hate these because you can kind of barely see them. And then just gonna toss this bad boy on, and then all I gotta do is the side graphic wrap thing, whatever, and the clip-on turbo whistle. Why are those flickering?
This is gold.
Should that be flickering?
No, definitely not.
Those shouldn't be flickering.
No, definitely not.
Is that a wiring issue?
No, I think it's just a lights issue.
Oh, okay.
That's perfect.
Ready?
Yep.
Perfect, baby, let's go! Wish.com, baby! Actually, go to custom offsets. This shit's trash. All right, so we got these wheel lights. They rolled in a little late. You guys didn't see them in the unboxing, but as you can see, the quality's not terrible, but the brightness is atrocious. I know the ones that we sell at customoffsets.com are 10 times brighter than this, and you'll be much more happy with those. I know people that only have wheel lights and it lights up their whole wheel well. Yeah, this looks like a night light that my house has, and it's not worth my time. So I'm not even gonna waste my time putting these in because they're trash. All right, so we have this turbo whistle. I already have turbos, so like, even if I can hear this, I probably will think it's my other turbos, but I don't know. So we're gonna toss this on here. It literally just clips on. There she blows. I didn't even look. I wanna see how bad this is.
They don't even fit.
No,
Not even close.
No. These are tiny, bro. These don't even come close to fitting. This is tying it all together. My truck is a rolling meme. We're gonna work at this, try to get this on. Unfortunately, it's not looking so well. It was rather expensive, actually. It was a little more than you guys should ever spend on decals like this, and they fit like complete garbage, but whatever. Wish.com, baby. All right, friends, we finished up the Wish build. And now's the time to kind of reveal the parts. I'm gonna give you guys a rundown on the parts and kind of give you a comparison on, and like a rundown on the prices and if it's even kind of worth buying stuff from Wish. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna start out with is this Punisher skull emblem. It cost us $24 on Wish, which I'm gonna be honest with you, kind of a ripoff, a little expensive, but
Not to mention it's ugly. So why'd you do it? How'd you even mount this?
actually, so I just took the bolts from my old grill and just threaded them on because it's just plastic pegs, and they just fit on, and they kind of make their own threads on there. The next part that we kind of tucked them up in there because I didn't really want people to see me rolling around with these. I'll probably never turn them on, but we got some Raptor style LEDs back there. We have this little bar that runs across. For the build, I think it doesn't look terrible.
It's not bad.
Like, it doesn't look terrible. I try to do it as right as possible. Originally, I was just gonna stick them in here and zip tie them to it because why not? But yeah, so I kind of made it nice and neat. We kind of, you know, used a little hot glued them suckers in, and it really didn't turn out bad. I mean, other than the fact it's a little high, but
How much were these?
These were a solid $13.
Oh wow.
So I know that that's cheap, but construction wise, I mean, they're not terrible. They look water sealed pretty well. They come with connectors. I ripped those off because I don't have those connectors. And really, I mean, for what they are, they're not terrible. These Raptor lights, Morimoto actually makes some that are super nice. I feel like the install would be a little more straightforward. You probably wouldn't have to go through all the hassle of putting a bar across, you know, and all that jazz. And those will run you about $75. So I feel like, yes, they were $13, but if you wanted something a little more high quality, definitely go with the Morimoto. I feel like they'd be a little more watertight and maybe a straightforward install. I kind of had to mess around and spent most of the day just putting those suckers in, so.
I know you're a big light guy. You've always been about the cubes and about the light bars and everything. So obviously these look nice and new and fancy compared to your old ones, but how nice are they actually?
They're really not that nice, guys.
Can we turn them on?
Yeah, we can turn them on. I believe it's this button right here.
He's about to not show you guys anything.
Yeah, so.
Oh yeah, look at them things.
I mean, yes, they're bright.
Yeah, they're bright.
Nothing's really water sealed very well. These were like 45 bucks. I'm gonna be honest with you. They were kind of expensive. Go to Amazon, you can get the same exact ones, the same build quality for much less, and they're gonna give you the same results and the same build quality.
You got ripped off.
Yeah, but these brackets that they come with, they look sturdy at first, but when I was driving down the highway this morning, these things were shaking like a leaf. Like,
Oh my God.
They were humming.
They are bright though, I'll give you that much.
Yeah, and then I got these side markers, mounted them right in the eyesight. So when you're driving down the road, lights just shining in your face the whole time, dude. Shit's so funny. But
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. Oh my.
Yeah, that's pretty trash. Oh my God. How many bubbles are in this thing? All of them? All the bubbles.
I'm gonna be honest with you, the transfer paper, tape and stuff was absolute garbage. It was really bad. I had my boy Nick from, you know, Fox Valley Tint try to work the best work he could do on it. And this is what he came out with. I'm actually not too upset about it because it's hard to put this thing on. Like the paper, like it was peeling up the paper with the adhesive and it was just a nightmare. So don't buy this at all. This was like $24. And
What am I even looking at?
it didn't even fit. $24 and it did not even fit the truck. It was literally supposed to wrap from the door all the way back.
What is this? Is this a...
It's a skull. It's
Ooh.
a skull, yeah. Pretty
Spooky.
scary. Yeah, pretty scary looking.
See, luckily for you, your truck's black, so it blends in.
Yeah.
So at least a lot of people can't see it, so that's good.
Yeah, but I can, and that's the.
All right, what else
worst
you
part.
got?
Yeah, so I was gonna put wheel lights on earlier.
Yeah,
in this.
to light up these brand new wheels and tires. Look,
Yeah.
your new wheels and tires. I see you're not taking care of them at all.
These are a swap set, but we are doing a giveaway. I don't think I mentioned that, and we're teaming up with Anthem, so that's a good giveaway because you can get cool cool wheels like this.
Can you go wash these things?
I'm going to before cruising the app tonight. All right, so the next thing we have is we got a train horn stuffed under here. There's about 4 little trumpet boys, and not gonna lie, it's kind of loud. Everyone around the shop was thoroughly surprised on, you know, just how loud they are. The tone, a little squeaky, but whatever.
3, 2, 1, go. Wow. That's probably the best thing you put on your truck yet. Oh my God. Those are pretty loud. I'll give that to you. Your mounting spot. Where is your mounting? You got it in that little box? What in the ghetto rig is that? What are you doing?
I need to explain my mounting because there's a reason why I did it the way I did. So first off, this thing is not water sealed whatsoever. So I tried to keep it in a dry location. I don't have my tonneau cover on, but I'll put it on eventually. So right now I just have it in this huge battery box. Yeah, it honestly would probably burn a hole in here if I kept the lid on, but anywho's. So it's mounted there because it has to be upright and water sealed. And that's the only location that I felt was necessary. I was gonna put it under my seat in my truck, but holy heck, that would be loud. And it's obviously, this motor right here gets a little toasty. So.
Decent.
So that's why.
How much were these train horns?
These train horns were a whopping $150.
And compared to horn blasters is what, like a grand, 1,200 bucks?
If you want a kit that you can mount underneath your truck, yeah, around $700 to $1,100 range. Oh. To get a kit exactly like mine, like very similar from horn blasters, I think I saw was like around 400 plus. So if you wanted one that wasn't water sealed, one that was pretty much essentially like this. So
yeah, not bad.
Their tone's probably a little better than what this sounds like, but
right.
I mean, for 150 bucks, I honestly am not disappointed with what it is, honestly.
All right, let's hear this turbo whistle.
Yeah, we're gonna turn this truck on and maybe hear the turbo whistle. Do you hear the old whistler?
Yeah, I guess we hear some at the end a little bit.
So that turbo whistle ran us a whopping $6. So if you guys want
$6 and it did nothing. All right, let's go.
Yeah, dude, you can't even blow through that and it doesn't even make a noise.
All right, so overall, guys, taking a look at Biggs's new rendition of his truck with the Wish build parts. I honestly don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's the greatest, but the air horns, I'm surprised. I honestly debated possibly purchasing them because for $150, those things are loud. Sure, the pitch is a little high, but overall, it's not too terrible. The cubes are pretty bright, honestly, so they're not terrible. Those bedside stickers are f***ing ugly. I went to did that. That emblem on the front is f***ing ugly. And as long as he paint and matches his grill, he'll be sitting pretty. And then obviously the Raptor lights weren't bad as well. So I think overall he did a pretty good job. He was in the shop like 17 days working on this thing. I don't know what the hell took so long, but nonetheless, he got her did. Wish I would have saw some wheel lights at nighttime, but you know, he punked out on that as well. But at the end of the day, I think it's pretty fantastic. I'm glad that he's enjoying his new parts. If you guys actually want some quality parts, you can find all those at customoffsets.com. See y'all in the next one.